Welcome to the Prem Pulse podcast for fans of Premier League football with a Nordic edge. With your host Neil Samaru, a long-time West Ham fan, and Barry O'Brien, a retro 80s supporter. Welcome to the pre-season special with me old mugger. Barry, how you doing, brother?
Afternoon, mate. How's it going?
Is it afternoon already? I thought it was like quarter past 11.
It's kind of creeping up there, isn't it? Happy
Yeah,
Friday. Perhaps is a better intro. Doing
yeah.
good, mate. Arsenal are getting one of the best players in the world, apparently, so I can't complain. Well,
That's not that like that player you bought. Who's that? Is that Polish player you bought a couple of weeks ago for 34 million? Or
Greek guy, you mean?
the Greek guy, yeah. Same ish.
Solis. You're what? Are you being controversial from the off on this episode, mate? Are you? You don't think Arsenal are going to get Vini?
Oh, right. Yeah. So I suppose we could say this episode is mainly about transfers, I suppose, isn't it? There's
It
lots
is, isn't it? There's
going
a
on.
few juicy general football news, isn't there? And a bit of sad news about a legend, but we'll come on to a bit later. But yeah,
Mm.
you're right, mate. I think all we can talk about at the moment is who's moving where, and I think it's livening up, isn't it?
It is as well. So Vini Jr. and also there's news about Bacola from PSG.
Yeah, Bakala
Going to
going
Arsenal
to
or
Liverpool
Liverpool.
or Liverpool potentially.
They talked about Arsenal though, but I don't think what. All right, that'll be crazy, and I think it'll be an amazing move for Vinny Jr. to move to the Premiership. It'd be great for the Premiership. I think it'd be loved over here as well. We have a lot of Brazilian players already playing in both London and in the Premier League, so there's no reason why he can't come here and be a success as the others have done.
Absolutely. Yeah.
We always talk about the weather, but still, the London.
Well, if others can survive it, he can as well, right?
Yeah, I'm sure he won't get too affected by the London smog as well. So I think it would be
I think he's
amazing
more
if they
distracted by
were
the London nightlife. I think it's more of a concern.
for real. And there's a huge Brazilian kind of population in London,
Yeah.
now these days as well, which is really made it, with the salsa and the vibe is a bit different. So I think you'll be able to settle in well. But so that was very interesting. But what are your thoughts then?
Well, two, isn't there? There's the sort of the heart and the head. I mean, the if we take the heart, I think it would be amazing. I mean, obviously, you are looking for a massive upgrade on the left. Don't really come much bigger than that. I saw that apparently he's the also like the fifth biggest like shirt seller in the world, apparently, behind obviously Messi, Ronaldo, Mbappe, and Lamar. So
Mm,
he would be a superstar. I mean, a big face of the Premier League, right?
mm.
On the pitch wise, I think he's great, isn't he? So fast and be interesting just from a kind of Arsenal perspective, though. Like, I don't think he's renowned for his defending. So whether they would kind of change their style a little bit to accommodate him, which is good and fine. And I mean, if Bruno Guimaraes comes in as well, that obviously he can mop up after him. Um, and from a business side of things, I think obviously Real Madrid. I mean, he's down to his last year of his contract now, right? So
That's right.
basically, from Christmas, he can start talking to other people and stuff. So they won't want to lose out on the money. They don't seem to, from what they're saying in the news, they don't seem to be very close to an agreement with him. Apparently, he's not going to get paid as much as Mbappe's. Image rights are a big issue in Spain, and if you know about this, but apparently, like Real Madrid keep 50% of his image rights, and he's got like 16 licensing deals or something.
Wow.
Whereas in the Premier League, you get 100% of it. So that's a massive,
Mm.
massive difference for him as well. And
Well,
yeah, I think
let me ask you. I mean, like
interesting.
you kind of interesting because you said about how we'd fit into the team, and like you said, you need somebody on the left. I mean, having a play like that, tearing up, the Premiership on the left, big upgrade from Martinelli.
Yeah,
And I think you're quite right. If you do, because that's another big transfer story. We may have touched on it in the previous episode, but Umares going to Arsenal is potentially very high. I don't know if they're going to pay the money and like whether they will pay the money for Vinny Jr. either. So I think that's a big issue for Arsenal. Are they
Well,
going to lay out the cash? And the
yeah,
reason
apparently,
Jimenez may be leaving is because we're going to talk about it later, just as a teaser, because Howe has now left Newcastle. Uh,
yeah,
well,
yeah,
so yeah, will
exactly.
Arsenal splash the cash to get these types of
I
players?
think from all the rumours that are coming out from different sources, but also highly credible journalists, is that Arsenal will splash the cash. It could be up to 150 million for him, but yeah, obviously talking about Vini, plus high salary, somewhere in the region of like 450 a week or something. Which Saka's on, I think 3 or 350 or something.
Oh
Um, so
wow,
it would,
man!
so it would be a massive, massive kind of change of policy for Arsenal, but they would do it for a star player like that, right? I mean, imagine what he brings. That could be the Champions League difference.
Can I have a quick question? Maybe I should know this, but you're into like that. As you could tell from your background, into buying the tops and spending your well-earned money, hard-earned money on football tops. Does the percentage of the football top sales, if they're sold in a different sports shops, go back to the club as well?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
We would sell tons of Arsenal merchandise. Uh,
yeah,
as well. So that's sort of like you said about the money, the
yeah,
revenue, because obviously that's why you got players like Real Madrid do very well, isn't it? Because of the merchandise with them.
yeah, exactly. And it's all the sponsors that kind of come with it, right? I mean, because they
Mm,
want that player's face on, all kinds of weird and wonderful things, don't they? Different products
mm.
and so yeah, so that
It's another revenue stream for Arsenal in a sense, isn't it?
oh, absolutely, yeah, absolutely. No, without a doubt, they'll get their money back. But also, again, you've got to look at some of the players that are on the books, right? So you've got, talk about okay, say 400 or 450,000 pound a week. You got Jesus on 200 and something a week.
Got to get
Get
rid
rid
of
of
him.
him.
Sell him. Got to get rid of him, right? And that's like half
Yeah,
his salary. Just send him off to
hardly
something.
ever plays.
Yeah.
He's got. I think he's got 1 year left. He's probably just going to think, right, I ain't going to get this deal again anywhere else, so I'm going to sit this one out. Um, yeah, I mean Arsenal and Arsenal also had a really good year. Obviously, getting to the Champions League finals, good. Adds extra revenue. Premier League winners, extra revenue, and then obviously Premier League winners kind of then triggers like sponsorship kind of upgrades and stuff like that, right? It's all in the clauses of the contracts where they get new contracts and stuff because of winning titles and things. So yeah, for me, it's still a pipe dream. The idea of Vini playing for Arsenal is just that's like fantasy football stuff, isn't it? But
Mm.
but it's
Well,
lining up. It could
yeah.
happen. It could happen.
It'd be mad. It'd be mad if you get both of those players. But you said that there's more talk about Bacola,
Well,
going
Barcola, more
going to Liverpool. The
yeah.
light.
There's a lot of kind of talk, but apparently PSG have slapped a 140 million price tag on him. So I think that's putting Liverpool off. Um, but he's also been obviously linked with Arsenal because again he's your left winger, right? And we need a big upgrade there. Um, so
Harry, sorry to
we'll see.
Harry, do you know what, mate? We touched upon this last episode regarding Anderson and Rogers going for 100 plus million, 116, 117 respectively.
Yeah,
The money we're talking about for players these days, and I think it was Grealish was the first one. I think it was 99 million or 100 million. Then it was Declan Rice. Then we got Isak for 120 something from the move from Newcastle to Liverpool. Didn't really
yeah.
work out. Got injured, and now we're talking about these other players. You know, it's just 100 million plus for these players now. It's just gone a bit crazy money
Mm,
wise, isn't it, for football transfers? And the only clubs and leagues that can really afford this type of money is Premier League clubs, the top five, because we saw Tottenham, top six even. Tottenham splash out 100 million on Tonali,
yeah.
85 million on Fernandes, huge cash. It's the Saudi League, Premier League, the top teams, Barcelona or Real Madrid, and then Bayern Munich in Bundesliga. Apart from that,
PSG as well.
PSG, that's it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Mentioned them, but
but the Italian teams are nowhere near it, right?
it just, I was reflecting on it this week about you can't. no one else can compete on that kind of
No.
level. And then the demand, or like supply and demand, and then to get a player, you're going to have to pay that kind of money these days. Because when you set that kind of standard,
Yeah.
right, you break that £100 barrier, and it was broken already, obviously, with Mbappe and so on. And but it's like,
Yeah.
oh, where's
Yeah.
he
It's
going
not
to
going
go?
down, is it?
Yeah, where's he going to go? I mean, Rodgers and Anderson, you said it in the previous episode. Are they worth 116, £117 million respectively? You don't agree, and I have to agree with you. I don't see them as
No.
£100 million players. Huh? Rice was different though, because he was quite special, and then he's gone on to prove it and won the Premiership with
Yeah.
Arsenal, and even looked even better, since
Yeah.
leaving West Ham. So he's up there in those players. Uh,
Yeah. Definitely. No, I agree with you. I mean, it, somebody said, didn't they, that the Anderson deal basically happening so fast and happening at that price range and stuff has basically just made everybody kind of readjust their valuations, right? It's like, well, if this guy, he's had what, a couple of good seasons, he's going at that price. And but there's
mm,
always an English tax, isn't there? I mean, I don't think anybody is going to pay 140 million for Barcola. I mean, he's, for me, he's probably in the sort of 90 region, something like that. I mean, yeah, he's got good stats, but I don't think maybe he's got some potential with his age and stuff, but he's not 100. He's not 140 million player.
the thing in it is as well, Barry, it's a sell-on value. I mean, there's very few players you buy for that
Mm,
money that you could actually sell them for more.
no,
Uh,
that's right.
and Bellingham was one. He went to Dortmund, and then the only team who can buy him is the Premierships or Real Madrid. But you're never selling
Yeah.
them on getting any more money.
No,
Unless Real
no.
Madrid come in and say Isaac as a blinder of 2, 3 seasons said, right, we're going to pay. Like, give you an example. Obviously, City. What did City buy Haaland for from Dortmund? Do you remember?
I don't remember the amount. No, I
It was cash though, man. It was like 60 million, 80
was gonna
million.
say it wasn't. Yeah, it was something around that, wasn't it? It
Yeah.
wasn't over 100.
But for Real Madrid to get, and they could do this, they would pay 150 plus million to get Haaland.
Yeah, I mean,
Uh,
transfer market value him at 200 million.
oh, not surprised, mate. He's crazy as
Yeah,
well. So
but
again, these players with sell on value, if you're paying that kind of money for Anderson or Rodgers, are you ever going to be able to sell them? Or, like you want them to play for your club for 6 years,
yeah,
fill their contracts, win Champions League, win the leagues, and I suppose that's what you're investing in it at the end of the day, not really sell on them.
hmm it's interesting though, isn't it? Like, what's Saka valued at then, really? If you get, if Rodgers is going for like
30,
170,
35 mil, something like
based on
that.
last season, maybe. No, I mean, he's got to be
No, I'm
150,
joking.
150, and he really. I mean,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
if yeah, if Morgan Rogers is like 117,
But no one's going to come in for Saka and buy him for 150. That's the thing. Again, it's only
mm,
PSG, Real Madrid, or one of the Saudi teams coming in. If think about it,
yeah,
we talked about it earlier. Somerville going from West Ham to what was it? Al Hilal, was it?
yeah,
For 60 plus million plus add-ons or something like that, you said?
yeah,
Like,
yeah. I think whatever.
that's like all day,
Yeah,
like I said in the last one, I'll snatch your hand off for that. And the funny thing is, I don't know what his contract is worth, but like you talk about weekly salaries, I think by signing that deal, he's going to get 50 million plus over the period of the contract. So he's a multi-millionaire just by signing that contract. And as a 23-year-old, 24-year-old, you think, you know what? Because obviously the Saudi League is not as competitive as the other leagues in Europe, but you know,
no,
I'm
he
going
did
to be
well.
all right for the rest of my life by signing this one contract,
Yeah,
playing it for 3, 4, 5 seasons. Uh,
yeah, that's it. And he can still come back to the major leagues when he's going there at that age.
mm, you,
Bank the money, come back and still play in Europe and
yeah,
do bits.
and it's also these weekly salaries you just mentioned as well, like 400,000. Well, Salah was on what? I don't know. Do you know, like 400,000, something like that?
I think it did get pushed up close to, I don't know if it was over four, but it was definitely three,
Yeah,
wasn't it? I
so
think.
you said about Saka 300,000, Vini Jr would be 400,000 per week.
Yeah. Haaland's on that, I think, isn't he? Something like that. I think 400,000.
It's
We
mad,
we
isn't it?
speculate.
And I think this is also
Yeah,
the problem for teams as well. We just like maybe close it here regards this discussion, but for players to go, it's like Rashford. Barcelona didn't take the deal up on Rashford as a permanent even though he did really well at Barcelona when he was there on loan, because he's
yeah.
on 325,000 a week. And did Barcelona want to pay that a week for him? No, as permanent contract. So then he goes back to United. Who else can actually get Rashford and pay those kind of weekly salaries? Not many teams again now.
No, this is it, isn't it?
There's an issue when it comes to clubs when they're stuck with a player on these high weekly salaries.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. I mean, that's been one of the big issues with selling on Arsenal players, like trying to get them out the door. That's why Arsenal's like sales kind of amounts have been so low in comparison to a lot of other clubs, is because players have just been on stupid high weekly wages. So can't get him. I mean, this is why I wonder what happened with Jesus, because I mean,
Mm,
again, who's going to come in and pay him anywhere near 200 grand a week?
mm,
It
mm.
ain't going to happen.
Yeah. Well, talking about transfers and issues at clubs
Yeah,
like this, does that take us a perfect segue into how leaving Newcastle?
absolutely. I'm of the opinion that I think Bruno Guimaraes will definitely be coming to Arsenal, and I think this may well have been the tipping point this week. I mean, Howe's had his Newcastle team pretty much gutted over the last couple of seasons, hasn't he? He's had last year's whole fiasco around our super Swede Isak joining Liverpool and kind of going on strike and um, yeah, refusing to come back for pre-season training and eventually getting sold quite late, and Newcastle buying in Visser and Voltamida,
Mm,
um, who didn't really do too much. Started quite well, Voltamida, the German. Visser was injured quite a lot of the season, wasn't he?
mm.
So I don't really blame Eddie Howe. I mean, you would have thought after winning them the League Cup, um, would have been kind of supported and be like, right, let's press on and try to establish Newcastle. I mean, they had a fairly decent Champions League run, didn't they? But they,
Yeah.
again, sort of struggled to put together anything in the
What is it,
league
the last
because,
16?
yeah, got hammered by Barcelona. But
Yeah, 8-3 on
they,
aggregate.
yeah, but obviously they couldn't handle the Premier League and the Champions League as well, which is what I suspect may well happen in Manchester United this upcoming season. But yeah, so I don't blame Howe for leaving. Really, he's not been supported, has he? And now, obviously this year, as you mentioned earlier, Tonali's left already. Anthony Gordon's already gone to Barcelona. Um,
Hmm.
we've got Guimaraes, the captain, potentially moving to Arsenal, and they're talking about well, Livramento was probably going to go before he got injured, and Lewis Hall is,
That's it.
talking to Man United as well. So yeah, not surprised. What's your thoughts?
Yeah. Well, reading reports, he kind of made a decision a couple of weeks ago. And we kind of
Okay.
saw the writing on the wall, you could say, isn't it? At the end of last season, they finished 12th, very underwhelming season for them. But that's because of what happened, like you said, in the transfer market.
Yeah.
What strikes me is obviously, when you had the Saudi come in and, with the big money and so on, and obviously things are looking bright, but now with all these financial restrictions placed on clubs, it's difficult. So having a multi-billion dollar owner doesn't necessarily to these days buy you success in a way because you have to stay within these financial constraints.
Yeah.
And that's what's happened to Newcastle. We saw it happen with Villa, therefore selling off their prize assets. Like
Yeah.
you said, so you would have thought with 120 million last season for Isak. Now they've sold Tonali for 100 million. You would have thought that would have been able to settle the books. I think it probably has as well.
Yeah.
And then obviously
70.
Gordon,
Yeah. 70 something for Anthony Gordon as well.
so that's big money that's coming to the club, but it decimates the team, isn't it? Like you said, and who do you replace it with? Too,
Mm.
but having owners with tons of money, like I said, staying in with those financial constraints has really harmed Newcastle. And Alan Shearer said Newcastle will suffer this season.
Yeah.
So no, I don't blame him. He looked tired as well. Come to the end of the season, a bit fed up, and you can
Yeah.
imagine behind the scenes. how it has affected him. But I think he's loved by the Newcastle fans as well, for what he's done from relegation when he took over from Bruce to
Yeah,
when he's taken them into Champions League twice. He won a cup, their first cup, the
yeah,
Carabao Cup, first major league trophy in 50
60 something
years
years.
or
Yeah,
60 years or something.
yeah.
So he's done well, actually. So a shame, but understandable.
Mm. What about the guy that they're touting to take over from him then? You
Yeah.
been having a little deep
30
dive
year
into this
old,
guy, haven't you?
38-year-old young German manager called, now obviously you know me, pronunciation
Pronunciation.
of names is Matthias Jaissle,
Yeah, Lee, yeah.
something like that.
He's got a bit of a
Former,
connection with the Nordics, though, hasn't he? Just to tie in with our podcast.
exactly, because he was assistant manager at the Danish club Brøndby
Okay.
between 2017 and 2019. Then he took over at Racing Bull RB Salzburg, where he won as a head coach, won their league a couple times, and I think something like that. Check my
Yeah.
stats. As well. So he's currently in managing in Saudi. Um,
So there's a connection there with the owners then.
yeah, that's what I thought, actually.
Yeah.
So that's the manager being touted to take over at Newcastle. And you never know, with fresh ideas, young manager having a squad,
Yeah.
how he will kind of mold the squad into his vision and style of play as well. Because obviously he's done well in his short managerial career at getting success at these clubs.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it'd be interesting. Yeah, I can't pretend I know anything about the guy, but yeah, he's
He was at the Saudi club was Al-Ahli. And he joined him in 2023.
okay.
Led them to consecutive Asian Champions League titles, 2025 and 2026.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Interesting.
So,
Yeah, so got some credentials. Yeah, it
yeah,
says 2 seasons with RB Leipzig. They won the Australian Bundesliga twice and Austrian Cup as well.
that's it. Leipzig, he was at. Yeah, yeah. Not Salzburg, he was there as a
No, it
assistant.
says right. No, it does say RB Salzburg.
Yeah.
So yeah, interesting character. But
So things happening in the Premiership, innit?
yeah,
Uh,
definitely. What else is going on in the transfer world then? So there's been a few big ones, isn't there? So we've had Lacroix or Lacroix from Palace has finally moved to Chelsea, and he looks like he's being joined by some of the Dad's Army. Seen Jordan Henderson and Welbs. Bit of
yeah.
bit of old head stability, the Granit Xhaka effect, right? That
It's interesting they're breaking away, and the owners or like the technical directors or whatever said, we're breaking away from this strategy we had before, and to bring in these two older players
mm,
to. Well, what's your thoughts? Do you think they're why do you think they're bringing them in,
I
Barry?
think, as I said, I joke, but I think it is the Granit Xhaka effect. I mean, he brought Granit Xhaka into Leverkusen, right? And
Mm.
obviously, Xhaka's then gone on to Sunderland and kind of had a similar effect. I mean, the same way they spoke about Jordan Henderson with the England squad, right? I think he's kind of a unofficial captain,
The
wise,
water boy.
yeah, but just a professional, right? Shows people how it's done. I think he's coaches people as well, and I think he's just a good influence around the place, isn't he? And I think Chelsea are a little bit of a kind of a bit of a rabble, aren't they? And I think clubs need this kind of standard setting. I think sometimes, don't they? And this is how it's done, and this is how we kind of bond as a team, and this is how we can win. He's a Champions League winner, isn't he? And Welbeck's had still knows where the goal is, and has had a good career as well. So I think it's just purely that kind of senior player influence to kind of support the managers and
Yeah.
how to act around the manager and those kind of sort of soft skills, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. No, I agree, actually. You need that kind of balance. And I think they've realized that at Chelsea with their young team, but they haven't had that. And you need those older, wiser heads in the squad
Yeah,
to provide that kind of advice and guidance to the younger players as well. But it is quite surprising. Talking about going back to what we're talking about weekly salaries. I wonder what they'll be getting though. Like, okay, we want you. Okay, you're a big club. Well, pay.
yeah,
So nice little payday for them. And obviously, playing for a big club, Chelsea, as you mentioned, not in any European competitions this season after finishing 10th
yeah,
as well. So again, recalibration. And like I said, get these kind of players in there. And you're right, Alonso, a good point you made about Xhaka actually and Alonso, because Alonso now, for those of you who don't know, is the manager of Chelsea.
yeah,
So maybe
yeah,
his influence in terms of what he said to the board and said, this is what I want and this is what we need uh,
yeah.
as well.
Definitely. Yeah, I'm a little bit concerned about Chelsea actually because I do think this playing once a week is really going to
Mm,
benefit them. I think of course they're going to have quite a bit of disruption with a lot of new players and um, you know, new manager and new ideas and stuff like that. But yeah, I do think they're going to have a much better season because I just think he's going to be given time, which he didn't really get at Real Madrid. Alonso, I'm talking about, brought in
mm.
some shrewd signings already, right? So
Mm.
I think they could be quite an interesting challenger to Arsenal.
That's yeah, good point actually. And like you said, you think Man United will struggle because obviously adapting to the two-game week schedule with Champions League and so on. I mean, they've splashed a bit of cash, United, as well, but I think they're still going to be in the hunt. You were talking about Lewis Hall, kind of on their radar. They'll have
Yeah.
to splash the cash for him as
Mm.
well. I think they missed out on Fernandez, going to Tottenham. By the way, going back to Tonali, and the headline was it only took him 10 minutes to decide to join Tottenham. So, going back
Really?
about what's happening in the squad and
Yeah.
the background at Newcastle, you was like Tottenham in for me, it's not like they did very well. It just scraped, above
Survival. Yeah.
survived 2 points, that last game of the season. So they're putting their money, they spent 200 plus million, pounds already, 237 million pounds already
Yeah.
Tottenham. Do you see Tottenham as a challenger as an Arsenal fan, like with De Zerbi and
No.
right? By the way, here's a Swedish connection for you. As for our Nordic listeners out there, there's been talk about Barryval. I've been banging on about Barryval since he came from Gordon, the Stockholm
Yeah.
team, to Tottenham.
Yeah.
Big money and he slowly integrated into the team. And he's, at 18, now he's an established player, especially with the Swedish team as well. Talk about him going, and then also
Yeah. I've seen a few
trying to
rumours.
keep him happy. The same with Spence, who had a quite a decent enough World Cup eventually after a tough start.
Yeah.
But the Zebri trying to convince these players that because there's competition for places
Right. Right.
as well. So that'd be interesting what happens with Barival if he does.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. He's a good player. He's still a bit kind of bit young, bit green at times, but I could see that.
Mm,
What
mm.
else has been going on? I saw John Stones, free agent. Looks like he's not joining Arsenal, but going to Inter Milan. Interesting. Bit of a international experience for him. He's never played abroad, has he?
Yeah, well, this is it, isn't it? I've said it before. I've said it before. You've said it before. All these English players now, whether they're young or a bit older, going to play in Italy or
Mm.
Germany or some other team league. Why not? It didn't happen back in the day in our days, was it? That English
No, I
players
think there's a
took
lot
that.
more appreciation of the technical development of English players these days, isn't there? They can go and operate in these systems, I think, whereas years ago we were a bit like known for our aggression and hoof it and kick and chase, not gliding out of centre back into midfield and putting through
Yeah,
balls through to the striker, which is what John
yeah.
Stones can do, right?
And he's won so much at City. You're thinking, well, I've done the Premiership. Why not just go and try my luck and have a good
Yeah,
time
enjoy
in
it.
Milan?
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, enjoy the life and
Get some
enjoy the
cash into
experience. There's a few that have done it as well, though, right? Isn't there? Like Ashley Young was at Inter Milan, wasn't he, for
I
a
was
while?
thinking that exactly. Yeah,
So
exactly.
it's probably as well. There's a mixed international crowd, so it's not just Italian speakers. There's probably plenty of
Mm,
people that speak English and stuff there to help him settle. So yeah, it's quite an
mm.
interesting one. What else we got? You
Yeah,
were talking a bit about Fulham earlier, weren't you?
Yeah, because the again, maybe you know the new manager's name, but ex-Rome, so
Arbiola,
that's it.
Arbeloa.
Right.
Alvaro Arbeloa. I don't know this off the top of my head. I am reading off the screen. I'm not that. My
He
memory isn't that
well,
great.
he took over Alonso when Alonso got sacked.
Yeah,
He got moved out at the end of the season. Fulham snapped him up, and then he's using. It seems like he's using his Real Madrid connections to try to get a couple of players. One specifically, who was it? Palacios,
yeah.
Cesar Palacios,
Okay.
and I was showing interest in another young player, Gonzalo Garcia, both in their early 20s, 21, 22.
Yeah,
They said that Mourinho doesn't really want to get rid of Garcia because he kind of rates him. But that'd be mad if Fulham get these two young Real Madrid players. But again, about this transfers and our players coming to Premier League and young players, our players going to Germany or France and these others coming over here. Why not? It'd be nice to see some of these skillful players playing in our leagues. A shame
yeah,
about the
definitely.
academy players have been struggling though. Uh,
Well, this is it, isn't it? It is always kind of pushing out people that have come through the system in a way, though.
mm,
It's but then that's why you do have this English player rule, though, isn't there? Is in place that you've got to have so many British players, I think, on your roster, in your squad. So there's
mm.
things in place to counteract that, but ultimately, you just want to see the best footballers, don't you? Really?
Yeah, absolutely. Because you asked me earlier about West Ham, about this young Callum Marshall going off to Luton, where
Yeah,
Jack Wilshere is now the manager.
yeah, of course, yeah,
Happened yesterday. And again, it's a shame it didn't really work out for him because he's like a young Irish player, senior player for Ireland, got some senior caps. Can't remember the team we got him from Linfield or something, but he's done well in the academy, under 21, scoring goals, was in and around the first team squad, has played some minutes. But
yeah,
obviously they didn't rate him, said, can he get to the next level? And he needs to look for playing more regular football and has chosen to seek new pastures. And why not? You can't blame him either, can you? When you think about some of the Arsenal players, if they're the young ones, not if they're going down a pecking order because you're bringing
yeah,
in players all the time, they also have to look at their kind of futures. I suppose it's what happened with Cole Palmer, Rogers, Delap being sold for quite a bit of money, actually, especially Palmer and Delap leaving City and so on, and from their academy, and then their careers continuing on a positive trajectory.
yeah. But this is it, isn't it? Sometimes, I mean, the Eze story is the classic, right? Sometimes you got to go backwards to go forwards, right? Haven't you?
Mm,
It's quite fortunate. Um, just to kind of going back to Chelsea, so Garnacho's gone from Chelsea to Villa on loan as well. It's quite an interesting one. Talking about disruptive forces, I've, as you probably have seen, the kind of rumours and news that he can be a little bit disruptive. I don't know if true or not, but yeah, interesting one for Chelsea to release on a loan. So yeah, I mean his career's gone tanked a bit, isn't it? Right, he started kind of in the Prem at Man United, and he's gone to Chelsea. Now he's at Villa. It's like
how much did Chelsea buy him for? 40 million, something like that.
no idea.
So they bought him though for some cash, and obviously it hasn't worked out for him. And like I said, whether he was a disruptive or Alonso just doesn't see him fitting into his team, but obviously he's a decent enough
Mm,
player
yeah.
as well. Again, they got Sancho on loan, didn't they? Villa
Mm,
last season from Chelsea didn't really work out for Sancho either, and that's another player's career that tanked.
yeah.
Went to buy Dortmund, bought for 75 million by United, and then those 2 free seasons he's been there just hasn't worked out for him. And then went back on loan to Dortmund, got sold to Chelsea, um, loaned out by Chelsea. It's like,
Yeah.
so it makes you wonder what is going on in the Chelsea camp.
Yeah. Interesting. That. Yeah. I don't know.
Therefore, going back to Henderson and Welbeck coming in there,
Yeah.
stabilizing force as well. So,
Yeah. Definitely.
I want these young players to do well too. So maybe, like you said, it's good. Like I said, go one step back to go forward again because
Mm.
years of football in front of them as well.
Just wonder if too much money too early. There's been seen a few videos about that recently with like just these young players just getting crazy money that does change them, right?
I mean, Barry, going back to your weekly salary, if you're getting 100,000,
Motivate Motivation dies once you get that.
I mean, you're buying
Not for
whatever,
all, but
your
mm,
clothes, your holidays, your cars, your jewelry. I mean, it's crazy when you think about Gary Lineker and Nish Shearer talking about when they're on YTS, the youth training scheme, and on £20 a week. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
And then getting their first contract. Okay, we're talking about the 80s here and 90s with Shearer, but it's just a different
yeah. I mean,
environment.
they said like average kind of junior player. If you can have like one or two good seasons, like at 18 or 19, you can bag yourself a move and a big contract. On six figures a week, and you're sorted for life, right? Especially contracts nowadays. If you're getting at Chelsea, where they're giving away, I mean, Sterling's the most ridiculous one, isn't it? Like a 6, 7 year contract or something, and they can't get rid of him. I don't know if his contract's even up now.
Yes, it's mad because the way I look at it, right? If you get 100,000, 200,000 a week, I mean, you could buy a supercar every week almost, or every month. You could just, get the top of the range, like Lamborghini or like Ferrari,
Yeah,
Aston Martin, because those things are big money. I mean, just walk into a car showroom and say, I'll have that one, which
yeah,
they do,
yeah,
you know. So, like you said, the motivation, like, okay, well, sod it, I'm going to sit at the bench or I'm going to sit in the reserves, still getting paid,
yeah.
which is a sad situation, but because footballers, they just want to play as well. And it's funny with Grealish, what's happened with him as well, because he wasn't taken on the tour with Man City.
Oh, really? I haven't read this.
Yeah, I just saw the headline again. I was like, okay, so he's been
Mm.
training, but he wasn't taken on the tour. So there's lots of things to happen, lots more transfer permutations to
Yeah,
happen
definitely. Seems
on.
like it, doesn't it? Lots of things to be kind of straightened out, really, isn't there, before
Mm.
pre-season? So Arsenal kick off against Genoa in a friendly tomorrow evening. So that's our first pre-season. Building up to the August 16th Community Shield match. But your team, West Ham, they've actually got their first competitive game on the 8th. We were looking, weren't we? In the
Week Saturday. So
yeah,
the
the 8th.
first round of the Caribou Cup setting a record for attendance. So it'll be
Pompey
50,000
at home.
plus. Eh?
Pompey at home. Portsmouth at
Yeah.
home, right?
Portsmouth are bringing 9,000 fans.
Bet they are.
Yeah, it's like £10 for kids, £10 for adults, pan for kids. So
Lovely.
50,000 plus. It'll be a record for a first round Caribou Cup attendance as
Yeah.
well. So, and
Yeah,
I
that'll
think we've
fill up.
sold 40,000 plus season tickets already. Or
Yeah, I read that. Yeah, I saw that one of the biggest kind of pre-sales for a championship team or something. So good for you lot. I'm sure you'll get back up again next season where
But
you rightly belong.
I don't know about that, mate. We'll have to see because we haven't dipped in the transfer market. A lot of players are still on international, come on their holidays after the World Cup, and I just obviously been playing a lot of the kids in the preseason because, like you said, we're our preseason is well on the go. We got our last preseason game on Saturday, whereas you guys have your first. So it just shows you how far
Yeah.
forward the championship teams are in already. And I think the Scottish Premiership have already played a competitive game or will play their first competitive game this week as well. So when does the Premiership start again? Because obviously I don't have my eye on that. Okay. When does the season
Um, the the week after, so
16th? Okay, so the week.
22nd, I think, because
Yeah,
Arsenal's on the Friday. So 21st then, I think.
yeah,
Friday the
okay.
21st.
Right. Well, I'll still be keeping my eyes on the Premier League. I said to you earlier, I said, yeah, I'll be watching the West Ham games on Swedish TV live.
Yep.
On the package that shows the Premiership games, they also got a deal for the EFL, the English Football League, the Championship, so can watch all the games there as well. But I'll be mainly watching the West Ham games exclusively and nothing else.
Yeah, I'll
Basic.
be following West Ham this season. It'll be entertaining. You kick off your proper match against Burnley away. That's nice, like Premier League flashback.
Yeah, it's
How
going to
did
be
how
tough,
did you get
man.
on at Burnley away last season? Do you remember?
Yeah, we won. Uh,
Okay, that's a good omen.
and like Burnley got a new manager and stuff, but I don't know. I need to see the team we play and, hopefully the manager is going to get the team playing slick passing football and not long ball hoofing it up, as I saw on some of the
You've only
highlights.
actually you've only lost two players in midfield so far, though, right? Haven't you, from your squad?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
think so? Somerville and
Fernandez.
Fernandez.
Yeah.
Everybody else is there at the moment, aren't
At the moment, and we
they?
have young players there and some to come back. And you got like Edison Alvarez, who's the Mexican captain, due back. Are we going to get rid of him? Todibo, falling out with the manager at the end of the season. He's going to go. So I would love to see Desassi back, but whether he'll come back is doubtful because watching some of the highlights I said against Rangers last week, where there was like 49,000 people watching that pre-season friendly.
Yeah,
Highlights weren't very long because there wasn't a very entertaining game, but
0-0, isn't it?
yeah, I wasn't impressed by some of the mistakes and how open we were at the back and some of the crosses that came over because I was like, and again, Kilman, 40 million we paid, and it's just not
But isn't
good.
he just making up the numbers because he's not very popular with Nuno either, right?
No, but he played, and I just think get rid of him and just try out some of the youngers as well.
Mm,
Like, I don't know, man. Like I said, it brought back flashbacks when Potter was the manager. We just couldn't defend from balls coming in from wide areas. So,
no,
and then, like I said, playing the football out. Obviously, we had kids playing and not the senior team, but got to
yeah,
think about how the manager's going to set them up to play. So I feel a bit apprehensive at the moment, mate.
yeah.
Mm,
Exciting times ahead. In the grander scheme of things, we heard that Franco Baresi, the famous Italian defender, who kind of everybody refers back to as like the, if not the best defender, certainly one of the best defenders ever.
absolutely.
Pretty hard to get past, wasn't he? I guess you can remember seeing him play.
You're trying
You're
to
old
say I'm
enough.
old.
Well, he was 66, right? So he wasn't
Yeah.
too far ahead of us. But
No, but we did.
yeah,
I watched him play because remember Channel 4 used to show the back in the
yeah,
UK
Italian football. Yeah,
the Serie A, the Italian football. Then for Italy as well, a top player, hard as
yeah,
nails as well, isn't it? Proper solid tackler and
mm,
hard to get around it. But he obviously, you know, it wasn't just about brute strength. He was a good defender and could get the ball and bring the ball out, and
yeah. That's
that
it. That's
reputation.
going back to what we were saying about kind of skillful defenders that could bring the ball out. He was one of
Mm.
the originals of that, wasn't he? So yeah, in the football world, we're sad to hear that he's
Yeah.
died so young.
Sad news.
Um, and you and I were discussing earlier about this issue with FIFA, just to kind of touch on that, which is a big football story out and about at the moment with regards to FIFA selling off the rights to perhaps a US investment firm, right? It's all a bit messy, isn't it? And what's your thoughts? And maybe give a bit more detail about the story.
Yeah, but I don't really have the details to be honest with you. But just to hear that, I don't know the details, but that the fact that they're trying to introduce this model of this funding, private funding from,
Equity, yeah, private equity kind of
you, you know,
buying rights to it. And
yeah, and then they're saying to clubs or federations, kind of countries, we'll give you this $20 million, euros, if you sign up to this kind of agreement by a certain date. But if you
yeah,
don't, it's going to significantly reduce. Well, what's
yeah,
that?
down to like two in it or something, or
So that's like you
that's
said
what I
earlier,
heard.
it's like blackmail, isn't it?
Yeah,
Well, so the FA had come out against it. The British government had come out against it and said, "What you playing at? About this private equity money. It's like selling off football, I suppose, in a way." And then
yeah,
UEFA, and just I know UEFA have come out against it heavily,
yeah.
and it's 55 leagues in UEFA, and then you have
Mm.
CONCACAF, I believe, from the headline, and the
Yeah.
Asian Football Federation as well
But
against
they've
it.
all threatened to boycott FIFA tournaments, right? Which is the World Cup. It's the Club World Cup. Um, yeah,
Another demonstration there, maybe about Infantino, and obviously the controversy over the World Cup about the way he handled it and what he did and so on. And then now it's about, is this just a purely money-making scheme on his part so he can
yeah.
enrich himself as well? And that's where the discussions have been taking place. Like, honestly, like what's going on here? And
Well,
we said in a previous episode during the World Cup how he dominates all the decision making at
yeah,
at FIFA. Um,
yeah, exactly. And there's a few kind of theories around, right? I mean, well, there's a couple of points. So one point is, why does he need this
Mm,
private equity? It's
mm.
like 2 billion or something like that, but they apparently made like 5 or something
Well,
billion
crazy man,
profit from the World Cup.
9 billion or made profit of 5 billion. Yeah,
Yeah, so it's, why don't they just use that money if they want to kind of put money into all of these places around the world? Use the money you just made. It's meant to be a non-profit, right? Anyway,
exactly.
the other thing is, like, because he seems so insistent on it. There's sort of, some people are saying, has he done some kind of agreement up front in order
Oh,
to, because like in order to kind of get the World Cup or get something kind of related to the World Cup, and almost like, okay, you sponsor this, and then make sure we fast track this agreement afterwards or something like that. So
Barry, do you know what? You just rang a bell. There was some, okay, don't quote me on this, and it could be allegedly, but what I saw on YouTube, a guy said it's connected to the Kushner family, like this deal, like Jared Kushner, who's married to
yeah,
Ivanka Trump. But it's not him because they would have thought it'd be too political, but it's Kushner, Jared Kushner's brother,
okay.
to be part of this kind of consortium or this private equity firm. So there we have that kind of implication too.
Mm.
So go back to what you said, just adding on to what you just said.
Yeah, what I've heard, not my
Mm.
words.
Yeah, this is
Yeah,
all speculation, what we've heard
it's all
actually.
speculation, isn't it? But I mean, the current status is that, as you said, 3 of the football kind of regional governing bodies led by UEFA have said that no, this isn't happening, and we won't support it. So I don't think he's going to get the majority that he needs anyway.
Because they,
Um,
they said the money was going to football development and so on. But like you made a very good point. Well, they've got a lot of money already. I mean, why do they need even more money from private investors?
yeah,
As
exactly.
well, and
And the kind of somebody else was going through, I think on Sky Sports, talking about what it really means to get private equity money, and then the demands that it's, they're not giving you the money, right? They're investing, so they want a return on that investment. So what does that,
exactly.
what how do they raise the value of that private equity? Well,
Yeah.
you need to raise ticket prices, you need to do more tournaments to raise revenue,
Yep.
which is obviously all demanding more and more on players and
Yep.
fans and stuff, right? So it's, yeah, it's been no consultation, is it? I mean, I heard somebody,
Yep.
lady from the FA or something, who's on the board of FIFA or something, didn't even know about it, and so it's definitely seems like it's coming out of his office downwards
Yeah.
without any consultation and stuff. So
You made some
yeah, so
really,
not a
really,
good
really
selling
good.
off football. I think is a phrase that's been used, right?
Yeah, you made some really, really valid and crucial points, actually, Barry. All of those, and very true, very
Mm.
true. So we'll see.
We'll see. Yeah,
Watch this space, huh?
exactly. Good stuff. But thanks for a good episode. We'll wrap up there. And enjoy your weekend of football. I'm looking forward to watching Arsenal again, even though I feel like last season's only just finished. You've clearly not forgotten much about it. You're already moaning off camera about Arsenal's dark arts last season. So let's see if they get away with it, as you say, this year.
Well, let's
Tactics.
see if VAR, how they're going to implement the new rules of VAR about not being so microscopic
Let's hope
on
so. Yeah, let's
the
hope so.
details and this deep analysis of it should be there to spot mistakes and to assist the referee and not
Yeah.
re-referee the game, they said in this announcement from the European associations about how VAR needs to be used. So it's a recalibration of how to use VAR. So let's see if that
Interesting.
permeates into the Premier
Yeah.
League.
Well, yeah. And the thing is, as well, it's going to be interesting hearing your own personal opinion when West Ham obviously don't have VAR to help them or go against them, right? Because there's no VAR in the Championship. So
It'll be
it's going to be
so much
interesting whether you
better.
miss it or whether you glad to see the back of it. So that's going to be
Yeah.
something that's going to be interesting as the season progresses for our listeners. The view from the Championship.
Yeah, it'd be 50-50 though, actually, because obviously watching the Premiership and watching some of these decisions being made, you're just like, come on, for real? Have you really pulling it all the way back for that? But there are going to be some obvious errors made where you just think, oh my God, you got to look
you,
at that. Where's the
you're going to be
VAR?
back to slagging off linesmen again, aren't you?
Yeah, no VAR. What are you talking about? Penalty.
I'm looking forward to that, mate. Looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Right. Thanks for listening, everybody. Don't forget to follow us on YouTube and Instagram and TikTok. You can find the Prem Pulse with an easy search. And keep a lookout for some new kind of shorts that we're doing as well. And we're going to do a little series of previews on some Nordic players coming up soon as well. So keep a lookout for that on all our platforms. So we'll catch you soon. See you later. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye bye.